they have to have royal blood, those little ones. And
Meghan would be nothing if she hadn't married a prince and been looked.
She was apparently screaming to the producers, very, very annoyed.
Picture this, just another sunny morning TV show. Bright lights, chatty hosts, glossy smiles, the usual sprinkle of royal chatter and celebrity fluff. Everyone's sipping coffee, the mood's light, the cameras are rolling, nothing seems out of the ordinary, and then, bam! Angela Levin walks onto the set. Calm, composed, but oh, you can just feel it. Something's about to happen. Within minutes, the whole room goes dead silent. What she says on live TV doesn't just make headlines, it detonates a media firestorm that Harry and Meghan still haven't managed to put out. And no, we're not talking about fashion choices or polite family drama here. This cuts way deeper, into the secret stuff, the things they've buried for years. This is about their kids, about royal tradition, and about—
The world gasped when photos emerged of Prince Harry and his daughter, Lilibet, enjoying a 4th of July parade.
Questions no one was ever supposed to ask out loud. And here's where it gets wild. Harry's reaction told the world everything. The way he spiraled, the way Meghan just vanished from sight, and how the entire planet watched them both unravel in real time. This isn't just gossip anymore. This is a full-blown media storm, and it's nowhere near slowing down.
Here's the situation. Prince Harry is fuming. Not just irritated, not just frustrated, full-on furious. And this—
What was supposed to be your typical feel-good morning show segment, it suddenly morphed into something nobody saw coming.
Angela Levin shut down by Nina Miskow for spreading lies about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Viewers—
Angela Levin strutted onto that set like she always does, confident, sharp, ready to talk royals. But this time? Oh, this time was different. If you don't know Angela Levin, you need to understand one thing. She doesn't play nice. She's not one of those royal commentators who sugarcoats and curtsies her way through interviews. Nope. She's built her entire career on saying the things everyone else is too scared to say, asking the awkward, uncomfortable questions that make PR teams panic. She's the woman who calls it like it is when everyone else is keeping quiet, the one who spots the inconsistencies nobody wants to touch. And that morning, she came ready, no filters, no hesitation. She sat down.
Just ripped the Band-Aid off. Angela Levin didn't drop a bombshell. She detonated a PR nuke. In one calculated breath—
and looked straight into the camera. Then, she started talking about Prince Harry, but this wasn't the usual chatter about charity work or event appearances. Nope. She dove into something way more sensitive. Things Harry and Meghan had spent years keeping tightly under wraps. Stuff about their kids, about royal customs, about traditions that apparently got tossed right out the window. The studio went dead quiet. You could practically hear the tension buzzing through the air. Millions of people watching live, coffee mugs in hand, probably halfway to work, suddenly froze. The mood shifted instantly.
Do you think you've been very harsh, one woman to another? I mean, you've just used the phrase, she is not fit.
One moment, everyone was half watching. The next, they were glued to their screens, frozen, staring. Because what Angela was saying, this wasn't the usual palace fluff about who wore what or who forgot to curtsy. She was touching something sacred, the rules, the royal system itself. Questions about whether Harry and Meghan had followed the age-old royal traditions, whether they'd done things by the book or completely rewrote it. You could almost imagine the palace PR team breaking into a cold sweat. And Angela, she sat there calm as ever, sipping metaphorical tea while the world collectively gasped.
What you're about to see is a prime example of someone who is a narcissist, and this time, she's seething with anger.
She was so casual, almost like she was chatting over tea with friends, but every single word hit with precision. She wasn't yelling or exaggerating. She was just stating facts, calmly, clearly, powerfully, and honestly, that made it hit even harder. When you drop bombs with a straight face, people listen. Within minutes, Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it now, went insane. Clips of her comments were being screen recorded, reposted, dissected frame by frame. Every sentence she said became a headline.
She's brought up the worst in him, and I think it's appalling that his behavior has been so bad.
TikTok users stitched her footage with their shocked reactions. Instagram stories blew up with reposts, comment sections, absolute chaos. You couldn't scroll fast enough to keep up. Everyone was asking the same thing. Wait, did she really just say that? On live TV? The host sitting beside her looked terrified. Shuffling, fidgeting, eyes darting to producers off camera. But Angela, she didn't flinch. Not once. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she wasn't backing down. So, what exactly was she saying?
Overall, she remains one of the sloppiest and laziest content.
Here's where things take a sharp turn. Angela began pointing out something most people had never even thought about. The process that happens when royal babies are born. Because here's the thing. It's not just, oh yay, new baby, number. For centuries, royal births have followed a strict script. It's practically sacred. You've got official hospital announcements, statements from royal doctors, the proud photo on the hospital steps, mom and dad beaming with their newborn, the whole world watching, medical confirmations, weights, times, all of it. Everything public, official, transparent. Why? Because these babies aren't just babies. They're heirs to the throne. Their births are matters of national record.
Did Meghan Markle change her name on baby Archie's birth certificate?
Breaking today.
People expect everything to be real, verified, official, but with Archie and Lilibet, Angela said it. Something was off. She started listing all the missing pieces, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. No hospital step photos, none of those classic shots with the press waiting outside, no medical statements, no official doctor confirmations, no standard announcements with times, locations, weights, all of it gone. Normally, the royal birth process is crystal clear.
Hello there, neighbor. Oh my goodness, you need to get in here right now. I don't even know where to begin.
We're told everything, the hospital, the time, the attending doctors, because transparency matters. It's how it's always been. But Harry and Meghan, they did it their way, quiet, private, closed doors, and that's when people started noticing other weird details, timelines that didn't match up, photos that looked odd, stories that changed depending on who told them, little things that might not matter on their own, but together, they painted a picture that didn't look like any other royal birth in modern times. Royal watchers, and these people are dedicated, began comparing notes. William and Kate's kids, everything public. Photos, doctors, statements. Tradition followed perfectly. Every royal baby before, same deal, but Archie and Lilibet, total mystery, total departure. Angela didn't mince words. She said it flat out. This was the first time in modern royal history that the standard birth process had been completely skipped. The first time everything was this secretive. And then she dropped the kicker. According to the public record, the only person present at Archie's birth was Harry himself. No royal doctor confirmations, no palace officials, just Harry's word for it. That's when the audience lost it. People weren't just curious anymore, they were confused. Why break centuries of tradition? Why so much secrecy? What's the reason for keeping everything private when every other royal followed the rules? Angela wasn't vague. She came armed with receipts. The more she explained, the more uncomfortable it got. She broke down everything missing, piece by piece. She talked about the official announcements, or rather the lack of them. Normally, there's a palace statement right after birth. Time, weight, place, it's standard. But with Archie, the announcement came late and it skipped major details. People were scratching their heads. Why are they doing this differently? The timing was weird too. Usually the palace tells the public when a royal goes into labor, the Duchess has been admitted to hospital, etc. But that time? Silence. The birth was announced after the baby was already here, totally out of sync with tradition. And then, the location confusion. Was it a hospital birth? At home? Frogmore Cottage? The stories kept shifting, and the Sussex team never clarified a thing. Normally, it's all official, all documented. But here, total mystery. Even the travel times didn't add up. Harry's own book mentioned details that didn't quite match real-world timelines. People were literally doing the math, and the numbers weren't lining up. And when royal watchers sense inconsistency, oh, they pounce. Photos from Meghan's pregnancy sparked debates too. People noticed oddities, things that didn't look typical. Then when baby Archie photos were released, they were controlled, limited, and nothing like the glowing public baby portraits the world expected. The palace's silence didn't help. No statements, no clarifications, nothing. Angela hadn't just dropped a story, she'd dropped a bomb. The internet was on fire. Social media threads, comment wars, theories, everything was spinning out of control. Angela Levin hadn't just made people curious, she'd made them obsessed. Royal watchers turned into detectives overnight, comparing timelines, analyzing photos, screenshotting every detail. It was like a global group project fueled by caffeine and conspiracy. And the palace? Silent as a tomb. That silence spoke volumes. Then, reports started rolling in. Word was Harry was losing it. Not just upset, not frustrated, losing it. Insiders described him pacing, frantic phone calls, demanding meetings, trying to contain a storm that was way beyond his reach. He wasn't dealing with rumor anymore. This was personal. People who'd adored them started questioning everything. Why isn't she by his side? Why isn't she helping him through this? Angela sipping tea while Harry combusts. Calm versus chaos. It was relentless. She hinted that all these unanswered questions, all these skipped traditions could actually affect Archie and Lilibet's place in the royal line of succession. And that, my friend, changed everything. This wasn't about PR anymore. It was about the monarchy itself. The royal line is governed by strict traditions, documents, and records. If those aren't airtight, people start to question legitimacy. Angela's calm, level voice saying, If these processes weren't followed, it could raise serious implications for the children's standing, was enough to freeze the air. And when Meghan heard, reportedly she lost it. Sources claimed she completely broke down, threw her phone, screamed that Angela had crossed a line, that this wasn't gossip anymore, this was her kids. Friends said they'd never seen her so furious, and honestly, who wouldn't be? But again, the same impossible trap. If she said nothing, it looked suspicious. If she spoke up, she'd only draw more attention. It was the ultimate lose-lose. Angela knew exactly what she was doing. She had pulled the rug out from under them, because once you bring the kids into it, you raise the stakes to life-altering levels. Suddenly, this wasn't a social media storm. This was a royal crisis. The internet shifted gears instantly. The memes quieted, replaced by deep dives, genealogy charts, protocol breakdowns. People were asking serious questions about royal succession laws. It had gone from gossip to governance. Harry and Meghan had officially lost control of the narrative. And Angela? She ended her next broadcast with 4 chilling words. "This is just the beginning." You could practically hear the world gasp, because that meant there's more. More revelations, more missing pieces, more uncomfortable truths waiting to surface. And for Harry and Meghan, that's a nightmare. Every move they make now, every post, every public moment is dissected. Every silence feels strategic. Every word sounds defensive. They can't escape it. The palace won't comment. The internet won't stop. And Angela, she's still out there, calm, collected, unshaken. The woman who dared to ask the questions nobody else would and refused to back down. Now everyone's asking, why were the royal birth protocols skipped? Where are the official records? Why did timelines not line up? Theories are still swirling. Maybe it was privacy, maybe something else. Nobody knows. But one thing's for sure, the mystery hasn't died down. Even now, the storm is alive. Social media buzzing, talk shows debating, YouTube channels analyzing frame by frame. Harry and Meghan, the couple who once controlled their own story, now look like characters in someone else's. The cameras are still rolling, the questions still echoing. And as Angela Levin said, this really is just the beginning. So tell me, what do you think? Were they just protecting their family's privacy? Or were they hiding something more? Because whatever the truth is, it's out there, and the world's not done digging. Hit subscribe, stay tuned, the storm's far from over.